Okay guys, so another Flash video following my past couple of Flash videos. Check them out in the cards above if you haven't seen them. I went over everything we know so far and also a look at the new suit via a new poster, which I did a very quick bonus video on yesterday, but today's video is about this new footage. Very quick, very quick. The CW seem to be doing that with Supergirl, now the Flash. I'm sure we'll get more before October when the Flash season 6 premieres, but enough of me going on. That is for after the trailer, if you want to call it that, a teaser if you will. So let's watch that first and then we'll discuss all of the theories and stuff to break down afterwards.
I saw billions of possible futures, billions of deaths. We can't stop what's coming.
The Flash, October 8th, stream free next day only on the CW app.
So as brief as that trailer was, guys, I'm sure you found it just as interesting as me, just because the fact this season, I feel for every show, is going to be super intriguing, just because it's very much so Crisis build-up. Of course, shows compared to Arrow will be doing a little bit of their own, somewhat of a thing with some stuff before Crisis, but a lot of it really is full golf swing, if you know what I mean, into Crisis. Like, even Bloodwork is going to be the Flash's massive drive into Crisis, but this one leans into Barry Allen seeing millions of possible futures, not millions, billions, and billions of deaths. So I think the most obvious thing to think about here is that it is quite simply Crisis on Infinite Earths. You could argue, I'm guessing some people might say, but what if Bloodwork, causes millions, I keep saying millions, billions of deaths with his powers to stop death? No, obviously this is Crisis, because for the Flash, what we learned recently, well, it wasn't so recently, from Eric Wallace, the new showrunner, is that even after Crisis, the effects for Barry and Iris in particular are going to be extremely intense. But beforehand, it's going to be intense enough as it is for Barry, just through how in episode 1, we know that he's going to get a scene with the Monitor. And I'll get onto how this, I think, very specifically relates to that. But seriously, guys, our speedster hero is going to have to deal with the stress of this following line from the Monitor. Now, I'm paraphrasing here, but he says that Barry Allen has to die. Grant Gustin also said that he doesn't really know that Oliver made a deal, but on top of knowing that he's going to die in the upcoming Crisis, it seems that he's going to be putting on Jay Garrick's helmet, which, people may be asking. I haven't seen, obviously this video isn't out yet, but people, I can assume, would ask the question, wait, why would Jay Garrick's helmet give Barry Allen a Doctor Strange, yes, a Marvel reference, I know, but you guys probably get that, insight into the future. Billions of different futures and billions of deaths. That's because, in my mind, Jay Garrick's helmet has been used quite a few times before on The Flash, I think, but more in specific reference to vibe. Like, he's used that to access certain things and insights into the future and what's going on. And I guess for Barry in this scene, we could see him being hooked up here, because as a speedster and as this helmet in particular might tie speedsters into a kind of speedster insight into the future. I know that didn't make much sense, but I believe maybe hooking a speedster up to a sacred speedster object, if you will. And as we know, time travel is very much so a part and a side effect, if you're not careful, of the Speed Force, especially if you're starting out as a speedster. You might often go there by mistake. I think it will give our Barry Allen an insight into the Crisis that is coming. But why is he even literally hooked up to this? Why are they doing this anyway? Well, what we do know as of the end of last season is that Barry and Iris are probably going to look at the 2019 article as Gideon was rolling back the newspaper date. I highly doubt that they're not going to check out that room. Everyone will know about it. I think that's safe to say. On top of what I just said about the Monitor, Barry Allen has to die. In one of my recent Flash videos, I said, what if he's replying to Gideon where he says, I don't need to understand, just kind of tell me what I need to do. That's what he said in the San Diego Comic-Con trailer. But what if he's actually saying that to the Monitor in a kind of reply and stress, yet also dealing with the problem kind of way? It's just okay, I'm going to die. I don't really want to address that right now, but just tell me what I need to do. So that would be super interesting if that scene we saw in San Diego Comic-Con in the Time Vault is with the Monitor. And then as a result, in episode 2 maybe, this might not even be footage from episode 1. It could be. We see Barry getting hooked up here. Now, I know it took a little while for me to get to this point, but I just find, even though it's not in the camera's focus, the scenery around here doesn't look like Star Labs or any corridor of Star Labs when you're looking at it in slow-mo, which I trust I'm playing on screen right now. Sure, you could say those are kind of like light bulbs or whatever, but it could be like another Earth, I don't know, since he's got Jay Garrick's helmet on here. But either way, just that archway there, it just looks different. It would be really cool if Barry was taken to some place that the Monitor had. Yet again, what the heck is Nora Allen doing here? I obviously think that it's not our Nora Allen. I did go over in yesterday's video that Michelle Harrison was returning, but honestly I didn't really expect her to return in this form. I thought that it would be some trippy thing for Barry this season, which this still is, granted. But anyway, back onto the point, it's just if you're looking around Barry, you see these kind of diamond-esque kind of like archways of doors and little kind of cords coming down from the ceiling. So what if, you know, for some reason this could be on Earth 3, or it could just be a place the Monitor has to get up. And, you know, after learning and discussing the crisis thing with the Monitor, he's like, right, let's take a look Doctor Strange style into the future. And that's when Barry is in immediate distress. They do play a very quick kind of destruction of Star Labs. However, yeah, I do think that is a reused shot, but I think with the narrative of this teaser, it's just meant to signify how multiple Earths will be destroyed, Star Labs will be destroyed. Not that this will happen to our Earth, but it will guaranteed to be happening somewhere else. And he's going to see people like his friends probably die, multiple versions of his friends, Superman or Oliver Queen or Cisco or anyone else, even Iris. But as for who's setting up Barry to the John Wesley Shipp's Jay Garrick helmet, you know, some people saying that it's Nora Allen. I mean, it could be, like, I'm just looking at the arms there. It could just be different scenes. But if you look at Nora Allen as she's walking towards Barry, she's got this kind of patterny kind of top on, and you can see it's very present in the arms there. But when she, or whoever is hooking Barry up to the actual helmet, you can't see that pattern at all on the forearm. And quite literally, that pattern, as you can see, was present all up the forearm. And yes, we're getting mega analytical here. However, she does have rings there. I can't identify if they're like, I don't know, Nora Allen-esque rings. But all I can tell you is that, you know, that isn't the same piece of clothing that Nora Allen was wearing in another shot where she seems like she's walking towards Barry, who is already lying on that kind of bed chair, if you whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, she could have just put a lab coat on. But at the same time, it could be Caitlyn, but I doubt it. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Somehow Nora's going to be involved in this. We do see Barry in his new suit. I think that this is the kind of definitive look we've been given so far. I did say I wanted to address the shot we got yesterday in the promo poster. It wasn't the most amazing poster, but it gave us such a good look at the cowl. I do have to say, though, in terms of protection, call this nitpicky or not, if you zoom in on that cowl, you can see like little air gaps. You know, like in sports clothing, that kind of gives you a bit of current, you know, to cool you down. You could argue for a speedster that's perfect. Imagine the amount of wind that would go through. But it's not exactly a lot of protection if Barry, as he often does, gets sent flying from a metahuman, bumps his head. Now it quite literally looks like thinner fabric than what is on my flipping hat right now with little air dots in it. Just something futty there. I mean, I'm not even really criticizing it. I don't mind it. I'm just saying in terms of protection, it wouldn't offer Barry a whole bunch. But then again, in multiple different iterations, the Flash quite literally seems as though he has fabric-like clothing, you know, in terms of how he can just pull his hood down like that. Same with Batman. Hasn't really had an armor look in very early iterations. So just wanted to put that in there. I actually really do like this kind of sports-like cowl that texture they've given it. Other than that, love the ears. You guys know I do. I think this is definitely the best Flash suit to date. It looks so freaking awesome. We see Joe looking up at something. If I remember correctly, this was in the San Diego Comic-Con trailer. Could be anything. I'm not going to waste time speculating about that. But that is everything in this trailer, to be honest with you. I just wanted to blab on a bit about the whole Speedster connection to that whole Jay Garrick helmet, just because I do feel like it makes sense in the Speedster way that their tool for accessing time travel without actually going there, but in a Doctor Strange-like insightful way, would be to use this helmet. But that I still can't provide you as to why this helmet is so special. Maybe it's the fact that it's from a different Earth, and the fact that Barry is accessing it from one Earth, even though the atoms of it belong to another Earth or something. I'm really trying not to get physics style here. But that allows him to see through being a speedster, multiple different futures, but not only for his Earth, but through all kinds of different Earths. That would be pretty sweet. Just some Boba logic there. I don't know what the writers are ultimately going to come up with, but very, very cool. What I am left with coming out of this little teaser is that this season of The Flash, I know I come into each season with so much optimism. Season 5 was better than 4 for me, but this one, for all shows, I think mainly for obviously Arrow, but because that's going to be completely different, but for The Flash, it's going to be so good. Not only have Grant Gustin and Carlos said that it's getting darker and more mature this year, but still The Flash, which is music to my ears. Seriously, I love the more darker approach the show's taken, whereas I know some completely land on the opposite side, and they love the more quirky, comedy-esque stuff as well. But, you know, with this Crisis Speedster stuff, the slogan on the poster saying Speed Force, it feels like they're getting to their mother goddamn effing roots, if you know what I mean. God, and I can't wait for that. The fact that this teaser decided to concentrate on more timey-wimey stuff is definitely something that really hits the spot for fans like myself. So let me know how it, affected you. Let me know what you thought of my theories, and do you have any additional theories on top of mine? Let me know them down in the comments below, or you can actually let me know in my Discord server, where I'll leave a link in the description or the top pinned comment of this comment section. But other than that, guys, like this video if you did enjoy it. Subscribe for more Flash updates like this. Do check out my past couple of Flash videos if you missed them. They will be either here or on the top cards in the cards above. I'm losing my words right now, but thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you speedsters in the next video. Goodbye.